Time for, ladies and gentlemen, boot camp. Basic training. Oh, jeez. Basic training for your personal confuser. Holy moly, we've got graphics. How do you like it? This is the new boot camp area. This is good. I like it. The executive washroom's right over there if you want. Well, I'll get you the key later. Let's start off, as always, with a tip. You notice our great new Screensavers logo? And I'm thinking you're sitting there looking at your computer with the old, boring green Screensavers logo, and you'd like to update it, wouldn't you? Well, let me show you. We've put it online just for you at the Screensavers.com, and I'm going to show you quickly how you can make the new Screensavers logo your desktop. And it's actually right here on the Screensavers. If you scroll down to put your logo on, can you read that? Let me make it a little bit bigger for you. Put the logo on the desktop right there, the new Screensavers wallpaper. Click that, and they've done something great this time, and I'm really pleased. I asked them because, you know, I know some of you have smaller screens, some of you have larger screens, so we have 4 versions of it to download, including a very high-res version, which of course is going to be a lot larger. They're all JPEGs, but if you have a high-res screen, you might want to get the biggest one. Pick the one that most closely matches your screen size. Click on download, and actually it's really not a download. It's going to show up on your screen like that. And then you right-click on it, and now depending on what kind of a browser you're using, you're going to see something like Make Wallpaper, Set as Background. That's what the current Internet Explorer says. Set as Background, something like that. And just click it, and there it goes. Now, if you're using a Macintosh, it's a little different. You're going to go to Save Picture As, and you're going to actually want to save the picture with any name you want, and save it on a Mac in the Pictures folder. Then you can use the desktop, you know, we'll say SS logo or something. And then you can use the desktop preference pane to change it. So save it to the Pictures folder and then use the desktop preference pane. But this, doesn't that look good? It's very clean. I think it's a nice looking logo, so I'm pleased with that. Get it. Make it on your desktop. Andy's on the line from Conowingo, Maryland. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Where's Conowingo? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Conowingo?
Mm-hmm.
You play bingo in Conowingo?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that near Baltimore?
It's pretty far away from it, but it is somewhat close.
You're going to come see me and Patrick this weekend?
Probably not going to be able to.
Because we're in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. We're going to be in Anne Arundel and White Marsh. What do you want? Patrick, are you upset?
We fly the first 2,700 miles. You can't hop and steal a car.
Come see us. All right. It's okay. You don't have to see us. We'll be going to Birmingham. Maybe is that closer to Conowingo? Louisville? Anywhere in there? What can I do for you, Andy?
Yes, I have a Linksys router, and I want to set up a computer to be a firewall for my network. And the router has a firewall built into it.
Right.
What I want to know is the firewall on the computer going to conflict with the firewall in the router?
No, but I don't think you really need the firewall on the computer, okay? What the router, if all a router is really is a little computer that is doing internet connection sharing. It's sitting between you and the outside world, and when you ask for data, it passes it along. And when data comes in, it says, oh, yeah, send that over here. Andy's computer asked for it. It also, just by virtue of the fact that it's there in between you and the outside world, acts somewhat as a firewall. It has your public IP address. Your other computers have a private internet address. And so it's kind of, if any attack happens on the system, it's where the attack's going to happen, is on the firewall. Now, you can, if you like, if you're a belt and suspenders type guy, you could run firewall software on your systems behind the router, but I wouldn't worry about it. Now, on the Linksys, they have a firmware upgrade that's designed to work with Zone Alarm Pro, right? I'm not sure what features that adds. There's no reason why it wouldn't work. I don't think you need Zone Alarm or any other firewall. I think the Linksys is sufficient. If you want to be extra cautious, update your firmware on that Linksys. Make sure you get the latest version, and then run Zone Alarm or Zone Alarm Pro. Those are the two we like the best as your firewall software on your independent machines. But that's really a lot of extra protection. And frankly, a firewall only goes so far in protection. There's all sorts of other things like opening email attachments, all sorts of other behaviors you could do that are just as bad, right? So if you're prudent, if you've got the Linksys there, you've got any network switch or router in between you and the outside world, you don't open attachments, I think you're probably safe enough, Andy. All right? All right, good question. I appreciate the call. Hope you'll maybe I can get you to come to White Marsh or Anne Arundel, please? Stay where you are, folks. Tom Hanks introduces us to the new Apollo 13 version in 70mm IMAX. And up next, Martin offers yet another stellar sight of the night when the Screensavers continues in our new digs.